Okay, so the chart that you're looking at here is referred to the numerical values chart that was originally created by Pythagoras. You can see that each letter here in the alphabet is assigned numeric value. So for example, the letters A, J, and S equal to the vibration of the number 1, whereas B, K, T, those letters vibrate in the energy of the 2. So each letter has its own personality, if you will. So be sure to refer to your PDF handout that I attached for you, because this will be a great reference for you as you begin to learn the unique qualities of each number and as it relates to the letters. Remember that karmic lessons are indicated when numbers are missing from your name. So before we go on to figure out what your karmic lessons are, let's take a look at the positive and the negative vibrations for each number from 1 to 9. So let's get familiar with the vibration of each number, and you'll see that each number has both a positive vibration and a negative vibration attached to it. So now here, for example, the number 1, when acting in the positive side of its vibration, it's all about being a great leader. This is a very masculine number, and it's known for its originality and creativity. It's highly driven and independent. And when vibrating on the negative side, as all numbers can, this can cause the 1 number to be self-centered, overly driven, dependent, and even arrogant. When we look at the positive number 2 energy, it lends itself to partnership and patience and diplomacy, and it's a naturally harmonious and well-balanced number which aspires to be the peacekeeper at all costs. On the negative side, the 2 energy can be a little bit on the shy side, overly sensitive, while refusing to be a team player. Remember that the 1 stands alone. The 1 doesn't mind being independent, but the 2 energy is all about partnership. It needs to have the company of one other, so it needs to learn the lessons around becoming a team player. The positive side of the 3 energy is the gifted and the creative communicator. This is a very social number. 1 is independent, 2 needs to have partnership, whereas the 3 needs the crowd. So the negative side of the 3 energy is that of being unsocial, unfocused, maybe self-critical, and quite often superficial. The positive side of the 4 energy is all about practicality. It's a very grounded number, very organized. The 4 energy makes for great managers, focused, very serious, hard workers, terrific work ethic, very responsible and law-abiding. On the negative side, the 4 energy can appear to be a little too inflexible, a little too focused on limitations, never having enough, always coming from sort of that half-empty cup mentality, so not trusting the universe to provide. They can be irresponsible and even unaccountable. The positive side of the 5 energy relates to being versatile, flexible, being very adaptable and clever, enthusiastic, positive, and a forever young kind of a vibration. Whereas the negative side of the 5 energy is all about potentially erratic behavior, flitting from this activity to the next, being very unfocused. They bore easily, they're freedom seekers, and they'll shirk responsibility and often will have addictive tendencies. So that could be related to food, drugs, gambling, alcohol, all sorts of things like that could be addictions. The positive side of the 6 energy is that of being the caregiver. The 6 is a really interesting number because it's that of being the nurturer. Even if you look at the number 6, you see that round belly. That round belly of the 6 reminds us that the energy of the 6 is always going to be about the nurturer. Very responsible, very loving number. And this energy always needs to be of service to people. The 6 can balance disharmonious situations. They're very artistic, they're very emotional, and they love their home and family. Typically they like animals and animals like them. But on the contrary, they can be martyrs, too involved with the family, too responsible, especially to their families, and they can be overly judgmental while holding very high expectations for themselves and for other people. The 7 energy is introspective. These are the analysts, the spiritualists. The 7 energy says it needs time alone, very reflective, nature lovers, intuitive, teachers, counselors, all that falls under the 7 energy. But on the contrary, they can be very often aloof and even unapproachable because they're very studious people. They're always studying, and it makes them appear a little bit aloof. They can prefer isolation to being in the company of others. They tend to overthink and overanalyze everything. The lesson of the 7 energy is to trust. Trust themselves and also to trust others and to trust the universe. The positive side of working with the 8 energy is all about ambition, confidence. These are the executives, material-minded people, managers, very dependable and practical. The negative side of the 8 is related to abuse of power and authority. They can be a bit bossy, but it can also be related to an irrational need for material things. The 8 energy can be very, very stubborn, very fickle. And last but not least, the 9 energy, when working from the positive side, is the humanitarian, the philanthropist, very charitable, very loving of mankind, and with a real need to help globally. They love to give and are often known as being very selfless. The negative side of the 9 energy is related to being too self-focused on their own personal gains. The 9 energy needs to learn to give freely and to let go not only of material possessions, but also from emotional issues. The 9 energy is also known as the fixer.